here we are.
Well, I hear that you've done them like 30,000 feet in the air, too.
Yeah.
Tell them about that. How did that come about?
So we were doing a gig where we were going across countries and recording some artists, recording some of the talents for a podcast show. And while commuting, me and my colleague were thinking, screw it, why not just record a podcast while we're on air? So I had the Zoom H6 with me.
hmm
I had a couple of Audio Technica BPHS ones. Those
Okay,
are the
let's
headsets.
tell everybody because they're not real conversant in this. When he says a Zoom H6, he's not talking
Yep.
about Zoom, the online thing that we do. Is a Zoom is another company that makes digital recorders. So H6 is one of the models.
The OG Zoom I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's like a recorder, audio recorder that you use to record like your nature sounds. A lot of nature sounds is recorded via that. Podcasters, it's a very popular podcasters mixers that mini equipment that you use to connect your mics. It's a fantastic piece of equipment. So, and it doesn't require any power. If you've came across one, you just got to use batteries and memory card. It's good.
It
It,
does
it,
eat
it
some
work.
batteries. I will now. I have an H4 and an H5, and
Mm.
the H4 eats some batteries pretty quick. So you
Yeah,
can get the AC adapter for them too. So
you can connect them to your laptops to power it up with a USB. That's
hmm
perfect. That perfectly works. So yeah, what we did was brought it up in the air. It's like, let's just record there. So hooked it up. When I started recording a couple of pieces, I still remember the look the lady gave beside me. She was pretty annoyed because she was having a good sleep, and then there were these two guys, talking about their experiences, and she looked pretty unhappy.
well, did you edit it when you got down and have to do a lot of noise reduction or what?
Not a lot of noise reduction. We kept the noise at the background because it was, authentic.
Right. hmm
And I fortunately wasn't sitting near the engine. And luckily, the BPHS ones, they are pretty good dynamic microphones, so they don't really pick up a lot of the background noise. And it worked to a certain extent. It worked, and it was actually quite an awesome piece, actually.
Yeah. So that's really great, even though they won't let you back on that airline anymore. Did you, were,
Yeah, it was 2 years.
were you wearing your mask when you did it?
No, this was actually
before
pre-COVID days.
before the
Yeah, this
COVID
was
days.
actually pre-COVID. Yeah.
Now you've been into this a long time. What? Yeah, I'm wondering how powerful do you think it is for when people are listening to podcasts that interest them to move them to action and motivate them and so forth.
So podcasts are actually are easier to listen and easier to consume. So at least in Singapore context, it's easier to listen into an audio than watch a video or something like
hmm
that. So I'm a mega fan of actually audio podcasts. And I have seen use cases where people have listened to a show and like, hey, thanks for recommending me that show, or thanks for or reached out to the host. Thanks for actually producing this kind of episode. You've taught me something. I have experienced that with other shows. Even with Magic Mike to a certain extent, people actually reached out to me and say, thanks for teaching me about this. Didn't know this existed. An example is actually one of my guests edits his podcast while actually taking his dog for a walk. So he actually edits it while he's walking, and when he hears like a pause, or he wants to edit that, he stops, just takes out his stylus and just cuts it, and yeah, he's done.
That's
So that's that.
amazing.
Yeah. So there are a lot of learning points in podcasts, and it helps you multitask, because I'm a multitasker. Usually when I am doing stuff in the background, I have a podcast running in the background. It's in a way, it doesn't keep you lonely as well, actually.
I'm just I'm just thinking walking the dog and editing is probably okay, but if you were on a date with a woman or something, it's probably not the best Best thing.
I'm